to invite anyone here who feels moved to speak to say something that has been meaningful to you about this organization over the years.
If we can all hold on to these and practice these dialogue endeavors on the day after the election and in the future.
You know, we talk about climate change, and I think that what has happened through Network for Peace, we've developed a different language, and it's a different identity, and it's an appreciation of diversity and the enjoyment. We don't always agree, but we can always learn something. And the other thing, I think that it has created an environment of global citizenship. So part of the change in the language is from us and them to we, and a very broad understanding of we as in the individual sense, and knowing people's names, and knowing, and it's also a connection with the election, and identifying, knowing the map, and really being glad to meet other people and to celebrate. So it just is just an open, it's really very open-ended. And so I'm grateful. I'm really grateful, because it has really been an opportunity to cross boundaries and avoid walls.
These two women have exemplified in my life the true Christian philosophy. They have met head-to-head, toe-to-toe, the biggest challenges we have as people today. Let it be GEMS working with women who have been trafficked, let it be the environmental issues, let it be just the love and neighborliness, as this woman is referring to, that we just see each other as human beings. Kathleen and Virginia have provided for me, and I'm eternally grateful.
If we follow these guidelines, I think we'll all be happier. And I think the world would be much happier if we would follow these things. Self-control, I'm speaking to myself, Marjorie. Don't be so quick to criticize. Keep my mouth closed. Also, I want to say I've attended many, many meetings, and sometimes there were people who spoke who had been to these foreign places and had rolled up their sleeves and had done the dirty work. And I was touched to the core. And I was very, very impressed. And one of the particular aspects of this was hearing a young boy speak. This is years ago at Marymount Manhattan College. His parents, or his mom or dad, was in jail, and he expressed his sorrow and his humiliation and everything else about having a parent in jail. I never thought of it, because this is not part of my world. But for the first time in my life, I realized the impact of this, especially on a young child. Of all the meetings I've attended, that hit me the most emotionally. Yes. Thank you both for allowing us to learn these truths. Thank you.
The way they do it, they reel me in. So I think of their work in three categories. First of all, they're all very important, very relevant for today. Issues of war and peace, social justice, and sustainability. War and peace, we dealt with the Iraq War. These ladies took a stand even before the war started, and a very eloquent stand, and when the country was going in opposite direction. Besides the war, the thing that touched me personally was, as a Muslim who grew up in Ethiopia, I felt very vulnerable, in the wake of September 11 and all that. They were very, very comforting, to the point where a couple of years later, an Ethiopian Muslim ends up on the board of the Catholic Nuns. and it was very, I was very touched. And it was a genuine, heartfelt welcome. And it really told me, you know, and I had no understanding of Christianity or Catholicism, and I saw them walking the walk and advertised with a lot of dignity. And I was very touched by that. And the friendship, the honest work. Thank you.
At the end, I'm Sister Catherine Patton, and I just want to say a word on behalf of the community. Because we've seen for more than 30 years how Kathleen and Ginny, I'm sorry, Ginny, have kept what we consider our mission really in play with persistence, real persistence, perseverance, and passion. And when Nagash talked about being reeled in, I think that's what reeled us in very often. I mean, the genuineness of their passion and their concern for internationality, which is very much a part of our mission, for bringing people together in a global sense, that's very much a part of it. I also worked in dialogue for a long time to kind of break down walls and build new groups together. So thank you, Kathleen and Ginny, and congratulations.
That was another one reeled in. I work with Kathleen, and first it was the book group, then it was the network, then it was all sorts of things. But I think sometimes these problems seem very big, like, well, you know, climate change or all the injustice. And I think what I take in my heart most from the dialogue is that, I mean, from the work we did, was that we can all make a difference in our individual life, you know, choices that we make in our circles. Like, we don't have to stop everything or go to Washington, or we can make the changes in the people that we're with, in how we talk to people at our jobs, how we live in our communities. And I think they have embodied that in their lives, like, you know, a life of living their values and their integrity, and they have inspired so many of us to do the same and to feel like we're making a difference in how we live our life. And just recently I work at an agency called Sanctuary for Families, and there's a lot of lawyers, and they have positions, and they want to convince everyone their positions, and there's younger staff who feel very silenced, and I was like, oh, we have to dialogue, and I got up. I said, you have to stop trying to convince them, you have to listen for understanding. And I thought, like, you know, these will go with me everywhere. So it's, you know, it's like you touch people, and it's like that, whatever, that ripple analogy, like it just goes and it goes and it goes, and you live those values. So even though you know, there won't be the formal network, I still live these values and I still take them. And the other thing that always reminds me is, I think I was part of the workshop where
2001.
in 2000, whatever, with the Sustain the Neighborhood one. But I remember we did an art project. My mom came and did it with me, and I remember that there were groups that had never touched art. Like we had these different age groups, and they were these grandmothers, and they had never used watercolors or used art form. And I remember thinking, what a gift that I can be here to do that. And so, like, there are these moments that will stay with me, that I touched people, that they touched me, and I'm grateful for that. And also all the fun. We had a lot of laughs.
I just want to say thank you to Sister Virginia and Kathleen, because it's from neighborhood to neighborhood that you get people to understand each other and know where they're coming from. And those two, from neighborhood to our neighborhood, they brought it there. Sustainability with us, and mostly with our young people, our young girls. They took them under their wings, and right now they still have them under their wings. So there's that sustainability that she's still in their lives, and I appreciate that so much from the two of them. They are part of our family from All Saints. They are definitely family members, and we love them. Thank you. We appreciate you always.
I'm going to go for the second point on the card and speak from my heart that I love both of you so much. And it's been such a joy to be part of this organization and have you in my lives, and Peggy too. I mean, everyone in this organization is just a living, breathing example of how everyone should be. And I thank you for all of your work and for being here for all of us and being such an incredible example.
I think I might have a little bit different perspective because I actually worked for Kathleen in Virginia. 2011, and I want to say that their interview, when I interviewed for office manager, was one of the hardest interviews I ever went through. Yeah, it was like in the middle of summer in New York. I'm wearing a suit, I'm sweating bullets. I had a BA in philosophy. Kathleen's first question isn't about what my skills are for the job. It's who's your favorite philosopher and why? So I had to talk about Immanuel Kant and the categorical imperative. Nan Tavari was also there, and she's like, "Do you want a glass of water?" I'm like, "Yeah." Kathleen is me. But it went really well, and I ended up getting the job. I remember being so nervous about the interview, and as I was walking out, I noticed that Virginia had conducted the entire interview in her pajamas. I didn't know that. That would bring my nerves to rest. So I just wanted to bring that up. The other perspective I want to share is that I'm one of at least dozens of people that have come through their apartment and have worked really hard on the mission and contributing to these things. And I'm seeing you guys give lots of opportunities to people that were still developing their skills. You took them under your wing, you taught them things. I learned things about Excel from you that I've learned that have led to other jobs elsewhere. So I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity. The ripple effect that you've had has been profound, but it goes beyond just the issues that you've addressed. It goes with all the people that you've had work for you, that you've had come into your apartment, that you've shared your personal space with, and your food with, and that you've invested time and energy into their lives. Both played integral parts in my wedding years after after I left the organization. So. To echo what Courtney says, I love you both very much, and I'm so happy to know you and be a small part of what you guys have done.